Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to my first ever episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. This is, of course, going to be the introduction episode for this series, where I pretty much just go through the roster, do a bit of a creative meeting roundup, and we'll go through the schedule and the titles and things like that. There won't be any booking on this show, just letting you guys know ahead of time, so make sure you tune into the second episode, which of course will be our first ever event. So here we go, one player game of course. I have actually played this game before, well not this game in particular, but I did play TEW 2013. Okay, so first of all, who are we going to go with today? I think a lot of people would want to go with a bigger, a bigger Fed or company, but I think I'm going to go with. I played with CZCW in 2013, so I'm not sure if I should do that again. I would like to do an Australia save, so do a company in Australia, but I don't think I'll do that as my first series. I think we should go with New York. I think they're a small company at the start of the game, which is interesting because I believe they might have been regional in 2013, or at least in the 2014 database there was. So I think we'll go in New York. Yeah, so I'm not too sure who the owner and bookers are. I'll go through here and just have a look and try and find either a road agent or a personality or anything like that. They do have some good talent, like they got the ring generals. Dean Waldorf, of course, one half of them. I'm a big fan of them, and yeah, they've got some decent talent. To be fair, they really do. I like the look of Freedom Eagle and the other guy. I've forgotten his name. They're in a tag team. Oh, I can just have a look at his. Yeah, Hawkeye. I like the look of those guys. They're both really quite bad at the start of the game. I've had a look at their stats already. But they look decent, to be honest. They look like a good tag team that could, do some business, I believe. I think we might just go with Larry Vesey, to be honest. He's a road agent, got 83 psychology, probably, 100 respect. Why not? Alright, so these are my preferences. Fog of War turned on. The show stats as grades. I've edited the skin to get the grade and the number that I like. Dirt sheet obviously turned on. Doesn't really, it's not a game breaking, type of rule or preference. It just allows you to see what you're doing wrong in specific matches. I don't really use it that often, unless obviously, I get a little bit shocked with the rating a match will get. And of course the show main event at the top of lists, because that type of stuff really confuses me when they change something like that around in a game. It greatly affects me. So as far as this goes, I'm going to go high on leadership and diplomacy first of all. I think they're very important stats. Negotiating obviously needs a little bit of work, as well as motivating. You want them to be motivated. Creativity, again, probably might take one off each of these, put one there, and I think leadership as well. I think that'll do us there. I'm quite happy with those. So we'll select Larry Vesey, remove the unused characters. I'm not a big fan of those either. And we will be the booker. Okay. Larry Vesey's the owner, so I guess we'll be the owner of New York City Wrestling. I did want to be the booker because it's a little bit more challenging, but at the end of the day, well, Larry Vesey, I wanted to be Larry Vesey because he's, got a decent role within the actual company. So yeah, looking at that, we're only 1 point off becoming a regional company, which is interesting, but of course, I think at the start of the game, the tri-state area has 100% importance, so that means our popularity will of course be the same as our importance. One thing to look at, we've got the production values in the game, I've realized are a lot more important than they used to be. Your rivals, so for example, all these companies are either small or I think they're all smaller regional. So all these things, they affect the grades of the shows. If your rivals have higher, higher production values or event experiences, qualities, stuff like that, you actually get penalized for them in the show grades. And of course, upping these things costs money. Some of them cost money to actually do in the first place, and then they cost money over each month and stuff like that. So we've already had a look at the size there. We are small. I can probably get that up within 1 or 2 events into the regional area. Have a look at our titles first of all. They've got some interesting titles. They've got the Empire Champion. They've got the Tag Team Champions, as you'd expect. And the mid-card title is the Tri-State Regional Champion, which, as you can see there, is mid-card. So we've got a lot to work with. 63 prestige on the mid-card, 63 on the tag teams, and then the Empire Champion is very good, very healthy 88 B+, which is of course the main event title, and Roger Cage holds that there with 4 defenses under his belt. I think Roger Cage is probably one of the best, if not the best, worker or wrestler we have at the moment, so happy for him to be the champion. Hopefully we'll be able to actually keep him, because I think that would be very important for us to do. Okay, so let's have a look at the roster, and then we'll get into the creative meeting. But we'll just do a little walkthrough. Any names that I see that are important, I'll mention. So we've got Andrew Harper here. Looks like a mid-carder. We'll do an auto push as well before we get into things, to be fair. So yeah, mid-carder. He's already a heel, so that's good. They use faces and heels. I'll have a look at the product settings just after we do the roster here. But he looks alright, not too bad. Good menace about him. Good basics. Needs a bit of work in the ring. Obviously, just got the brawling and the hardcore there, which isn't going to be too helpful for us. And I expect him not to be that over. 22's it's alright. It's not too bad for a company our size. We then got another mid-carder in Animal Harker. Have a look at his skill set here. He's actually, he's not too bad. He's a little bit better than the last guy. It's going to take me a while to get used to their names and stuff like that. But he's got higher menace, better performance stats, to be honest. And a few better in-ring skills as well, which I'm quite happy with. We might actually be able to use this guy. He's 30 years old, so he's not going to improve too much. But he's with Black Canvas Grappling. A touring contract with them is definitely going to help him. And he's actually a little bit more over than the last guy as well. We've got Brutus Milano, who's an opener. Don't exactly expect him to be too good. Yeah, he's not great. Not great at all. He might be one of the type of guys we actually let go of. 12 overness everywhere as well. Next up, I love his render there. That's a really good picture. Bulldozer Brandon Smith. I am quite familiar with him. I brought him in to my 2013 save with CZCW quite a few times, just to kind of job to my upper mid carders and main eventers. But he's probably one of the best, along with Roger Cage in the company. Sorry, I went over his stats quite quickly there. He's got really good star quality, decent stats at the top row. His performance, they're nearly there. A little bit of work with Steve Flash, and I'm sure he'll be quite a better performer. And he's 32, so again, he's not going to improve too much. Also on a touring contract with BCG. Cheerleader Nikki, just the manager. Not going to really get into her too much. I'm not the biggest fan of actually using managers in angles and stuff like that. I prefer to use the people. And if not the people, then just try and find someone that can actually do an angle, and just repeat that if I have to be honest, instead of using another person. Of course, it just costs more money. So we got Crockett Tubbs, the dealer Crockett Tubbs. Apparently he's got a technical approach to matches. He's the Tri-State Regional, so mid-card champion. He actually looks alright. He's got a bit of a technical wrestling, as they mentioned in his bio there, but very good basics. Psychology's nearly there as well. Yeah, interesting. Psychology's a bit low, so he's never really going to be a main eventer. He's actually a lower mid-carder for us there as well. Yeah, mid-card champion. We'll see what happens to him, I suppose. Dean Waldorf, one half of the Ring Generals. Upper mid-card, you kind of expect him to be main event, but As you can see, his stats are pretty outstanding. Well, they're not outstanding, but they're almost there. We'll say that. His technical skills, once again, are very good. Good basics, psychology, consistency. Very good to see that an A, because people lacking consistency is quite a common thing, and I don't really know what's happening to my recording there. It appears to be lagging quite a bit. So yeah, he's 1/2. I don't know why this is happening. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. Okay, there we go. So he's 1/2 of the World Tag Team Champions for the COT, so that's the Confederation of the Territories. Of course, this year's game they've changed a few things. They've added a few new features, and yeah, Confederation of the Territories now has their own titles. I think it's just tag team, and then there's like a world champion. So that's interesting. So he's 1/2 along with Marv Statler. We've got Dermot, a logical, interesting character. Lower mid-carder. I don't really know if we'll use him for too much. He doesn't really look all that great. He's already 33, so if he doesn't look good there, he's probably never going to look really good. We've got Devastating Don up next, who's just a fat, really fat guy, to be honest. 460 pounds. It's pretty much Big Show's size. Got nothing in the ring. Not much on the performance side. He's the type of guy I'll probably just let go of if I can. He's got no relationships, so yeah, I think I will just release a guy like him. I may as well just try and do it now, I suppose. Actually, I should probably look at the ideal roster size. 16, yep, okay, we can get rid of him. 600 a show. Obviously, there's no downside, but I'm not exactly too fussed about that. We've got Ernie Turner, who's our colour commentator. I'll have a little quick look at him. He's pretty decent. Quite happy with that. He's very good on the mic as well, so yeah, happy with that colour commentator, for now anyway. We've got Fern Hathaway, another manager. Like I mentioned, I'm not really a big fan of managers, and she's fucking horrible, so we might just let her go right now as well. 400 a show, I'm never going to use her. Happy to get rid of her. We've got Freedom Eagle. That's not Freedom Eagle, there we go. Oh, there we go, Freedom Eagle. Of course, I like the look of him and I forgot his name again. His name is, oh, there he is, Hawkeye. I think that they're not the tag team champions, are they? They will be one day, but having a look at Freedom Eagle here, I really like his mask. It's quite a good mask. Psychology is just horrible, but that's one of the stats I believe I can get up in a 23-year-old. Of course, we've got Steve Flash on the roster, so just put him with Steve Flash for a while, and I'm sure he'll get there. Albeit Steve Flash is 49 years old. Okay, so we've got Jeff Bourne up next, a mid-carder. This is going to take age. Ooh, he's actually very, very good. Okay, good to see. Good to see. Good in the ring and good performance stats. Happy with him. We've got Hawkeye Calhoun, who is Freedom Eagle's tag team partner. He's enhancement talent, so yeah, he's actually got even worse psychology, but I think he's a little bit better in the ring, so I'm happy about that. At least he's got something. He's got some charisma about him as well. So happy days, happy days. Again, Steve Flash can do wonders. He really can. We've got Honest Frank, who is a main eventer, but he wears a suit. Okay. Okay, have a look. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. He can talk. Very happy about that. He can talk, and he can kind of go in the ring as well. Kind of. He's got performance stats, but no real good in-ring stats. He's a main eventer. Pretty expensive on 1400 per show. Next up, we got Mal and Mort, or Mad Mort, Howling Mad Mort. He's of course 1/2 of a tag team. I think the boys from the Yukon. Are they? Yes, they are. It says it there. Okay, with White Horse Whitaker. I have kind of seen New York in action before. Pretty much just looking at him straight off the bat, star quality and menace. I mean, I can get him over just using those two stats. Really, doesn't even really matter what his in-ring stats are. We've got Larry Vesey, of course, who's me, the road agent. We've got Man Mountain Cahill, who is, I think, our Empire. No, he's not. Okay. For some reason I thought he was Empire champion. He's also got very good menace, so I'll be able to get him over. In the ring he's quite horrible, which is unfortunate, but he's 44, so I think I'll try and drop him down to mid-card, maybe upper mid-card, and we'll just try and get him transferring pop onto other people. Next up's Marv Statler. Of course, he's the other half of the Ring Generals. 30 years old. He's only a mid-carder, which is interesting, but he's very, very good. He's actually better than Dean, I think. He's got better performance stats, I know that for sure. They're probably about equal in the ring. So happy days again. Can play either heel or face. I'm very happy to have both of these guys. I'd really, really like to keep them for as long as possible. Michael Bull is our referee. Let's have a really quick look here. 72 refereeing, that's more than acceptable, for now anyway. Rick Sanders, 46 years old. Let's have a look at him. He's actually very, very good. Sort of like Steve Flash, but of course Steve's much better. So we can definitely use him to try and bring through some of the young guys. Got Rock Downpour, who is our announcer. He's very famously got the New York City Wrestling logo mic with him there. Announcing C+, 70. It's okay. Microphone works decent. He's actually got menace about him because he's obese. He's an obese big heavyweight with his 3 chins there. So we've got Roger Cage, of course, he's the champion, I mentioned him before. We've also got Steve Flash, I've mentioned him a few times. As you can see, 100 basics, 88 psychology, 86 safety. He's just decent. Even in the ring, he's just got quite a few C's, which is, a decent quality. And yeah, very happy to have him. He was partnered by El Minico in my 2013 save that I had, and they were a very successful tag team. But he actually passed away, which was weird. Yeah, he passed away, I think it was towards the end of 2020. So hopefully that doesn't actually happen here, but I think he had already retired by that point anyway. So up next we've got Tennessee William, who's a mid-carder, one half of the tag team champions for us. He's actually alright, I like the look of him. That psychology, we can get that to C+ fairly quickly. And he's got a couple of C's and a D, so a D+ there. So happy days, Tennessee William. I like the look of him. We then got the Mars Mauler, another old guy. Again, he's an upper mid-carder. He's pretty decent, so again we'll try and transfer not transfer his stats, but use his stats to get other people a little bit better. We'll work on them to make them a little bit better. We've got the New York Doll here as we get towards the end of the roster. He's actually quite good. I'm looking at him thinking there might be something about him. He's 29 years old, Spike, but of course he's the New York Doll for whatever reason. That's just really weird that he has that alter ego. And then of course we've got White Horse Whitaker, who is the other half of the boys from the Yukon. And I think he's also got good menace. It's only 72, so it's not that great. Once again, good brawling and hardcore, like most of the roster has. He actually looks like the worst of the two. So yeah, 28 years old, I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and have a look as to what they can do together. I think they might have been tag team champions in the past. Let's just have a quick look here. Yeah, they were the former tag team champions before losing them to Harker and Williams. So, interesting. Having a look at our schedule here, we've only got 2 events. So I'm going to have to put in my own events here. Which is, it's not worrying because, I've got to come up with my own creative side. But I'm not very good at creating logos, so that's going to be something that's a little bit unfortunate. Of course, these 2 events will probably be our 2 big events, with Gang Wars probably being our biggest. And, yeah, it's going to be hard, let's just say that. I'm not great at the creative side of things like this. So we'll have a look at our alliance here. as I mentioned before, the Confederation of the Territories. So we can't run shows in another member's home region. We can use the alliance loans to borrow other workers, propose talent trades with any other member, and we take no damage from other members in national or regional battles. So that's very good because Coastal Zone are in there, Mid-Atlantic are in there, Oli from Mexico are in there as well, and 4C, the Canadian Federation, are in there as well. So that's good. Of course, we can have a look at the titles here. Nicholas Lopez from, I believe he's from Oli. He's very good. Very old, but very good. Hollywood Brett Starr is the former champion, which is interesting. Cancer backstage. And yeah, Marv Statler and Dean Ward, the Ring Generals, are the first ever tag team champions, or world tag team champions. So that's really cool too. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps things up. We've got no owner goals. The finances, 250,000. That's not a lot to work with going forward. Have a look at the product settings before I leave you guys. The match ratio at the events is 90%, which I'm quite happy with. TV events, the match ratio for TV is 70%, which again is, acceptable. The match danger is only 5%. I don't know about that. I kind of want that to be a little bit higher. So the wrestlers are rated equally on performance and popularity. Something I haven't really worked with, because predominantly the feds that I've used have always been rated higher on performance than they were on popularity. So hardcore skill less effective, and the aerial skill less effective. Interesting. Will mean that fans will expect all wrestlers to have a gimmick, not respond well to subtle gimmicks. At least one match aimed at storytelling. That's interesting. So on each show we have to have at least one storytelling match, which is alright, because you kind of want to have something like that on a show anyway. Won't be keen on high risk matches. Be put off by highly risky angles. Quite favourable to getting sponsorship, which is good. We won't be rocked by the wrestling industry changes, and young lion system will not be taken into account. So that's awesome. And of course, you have the in-ring rules now as well. So spinal impact moves are not allowed. You kind of expect that if it's not like a hardcore federation. And high-risk moves, of course, are not allowed either. And we're not going to use these two because they're kind of pointless, because I think each type of worker has their own, specific skills, and whether or not they can be called or scripted. Okay, so that's going to wrap this episode up, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you join me back for the next one, which will be us booking our first event, as well as hiring some people. Or maybe I've already hired them off camera, and you guys will see me bring them in on the next episode. So, yeah, we got Rush Hour, our first event, coming up. Look forward to it, guys. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.